good. Aracelli, do you have one? Okay, you don't? So I think that one right there on the table. Yeah. All right, well, welcome everybody. I'm James Preston. I'm the proud president at Lemoore College, home of the Golden Eagles, and about 40 minutes south of here. And Ben called me a couple weeks ago and said, are you interested in hosting a panel with students? And my answer was yes, immediately, because what a privilege and honor to get to talk to the next generation. I want to start off by thanking all of you for your time, like taking time out of your busy schedules. I want to thank you for your courage. And then I want to tell all of you, these chairs are as comfortable as they look. So, as Lena mentioned, you're our why. You're the reason why everyone in this room is doing what they do. And I want everybody in the next 45 minutes to lean in and listen up, because we've got, what I can tell you in my 18 minutes getting to meet these 5 young women is the future looks really, really bright. They have a lot to share about their experiences. You'll see a lot of connections from our first panel this morning, some of the initiatives that are happening. You'll see the connections, the collaboration between our systems through the eyes and through the words of our panelists today. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to do 3 rounds of questions. We're going to do the kickoff round, just basic introductions for everybody. And we're going to do the spotlight round, where we're going to dive a little bit deeper with each of them in terms of different initiatives they've been a part of and their experiences. And then the speed round at the end. And then if I do my job well, and we should have about 15 minutes left for you to ask some questions to this next generation. So Aracelli, let's kick it off with you. So just in terms of, if you can give us name, where you are currently, your major, your journey. Yeah.
Is this working? Yeah.
It is.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Aracelli, and I started at Merced College right after high school. I transferred from Merced College to UC Merced, where I earned my bachelor's degree. And then I graduated from UC Merced last year, and now I am at CSU Stanislaus as a graduate student studying education counseling.
Awesome. That's so good. Yeah, as you're hearing your name, you're hearing shout-outs, feel free to join in. This is going to be very collaborative as we go. So Abigail goes by Abby. Everyone has a cool nickname up here or has a cool name. So Abby, share your experience with us.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Abigail Soto, and I'm a senior at Dinuba High School. And this fall, I will be attending UCLA, majoring in neuroscience.
And Izabella goes by Bella. So Bella, if you want to share your experience.
Yeah, of course. Good morning, everyone. I'm Izabella Cavazos. I go to Dinuba High School. This upcoming fall, I will be attending UC Davis, majoring in biological sciences.
And McKenzie goes by Kenzie. So Kenzie, you want to share your experience?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Oh. Hello everyone, my name is McKenzie Rosas. I'm from Dinuba High School. And this upcoming fall I'll be attending UC Davis, majoring in biology.
And last but not least, Zeidi.
Hello everyone, I hope everyone's having a good morning. My name is Zeidi Diaz. I'm actually a senior high school alum in 2019 and went straight to Fresno State, and now I'm a Fresno State alumni and graduated in 2022. But yeah, I'm very excited to be part of this. If it wasn't for you guys in the Pathways and Dual Enrollment, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
And as I said, I'm James, or James Preston, or Jay Prez, or James Lawrence Foster Preston, but not Jim. No Jims, please. So spotlight round. So I want to talk a little bit about your experiences in dual enrollment. And as we're seeing here, we've got folks that are Fresno State just graduated working on masters, about to graduate in a few weeks from now, just wrapping up senior year. But Aracelli, let's start with you. There's a couple things we talked about in terms of how our systems can work together. We talked about transfer degrees. We talked about program pathway mapper. And so these are things that CVHEC has been very involved in, all of our institutions have been very involved in. So talk to me first, I think, about program pathway mapper in terms of how that helped you as a student navigate into higher education.
Yes, so when I was at Merced College, I did utilize the program Pathways Mapper. I knew that I was going to UC Merced, and obviously UC Merced was bridged with the program Pathways to Merced College. And so through the Pathways Mapper, I was really able to just find out what classes I needed to transfer, obviously. And also, I was able to gain some insights on what to expect when I transferred to UC Merced and what my classes would look like, what the course load was going to be each semester. And because of the Pathways Mapper, I was actually able to graduate on time because I didn't realize that the UC had different requirements for a communications class than the CSU system. So on the Pathways Mapper, I saw that the class that I needed, I had to take it my last semester at Merced College. If not, I wouldn't have been able to transfer to UC Merced. So it helped me in that way because I was able to successfully graduate with all the classes that I needed to transfer over. So that was just a small portion of how it helped me. But now I work at Merced College and I'm able to use it to help other students that I work with that come into my building under the Student Success Program. Just anyone that I run into, I'm able to help them navigate maybe what college they want to go to because they can look at different requirements at different colleges or what the course load is going to look like, what classes they're going to be required to take depending on where they go. So if a student comes to me and they're not really sure about which program they want to enter, maybe they want to go to Fresno State or go to UC Merced for psychology, the Pathways Mapper is something that I always recommend to them because they're able to see what the different courses are going to look like, what their path is going to look like. So I've utilized it not only for myself, but to help other students that I come into contact with.
Yeah, great tool. And I think a lot of the system changes we make try to help that navigation, right? So we think about CalGETC, right? We're launching into CalGETC and what an impact that has on students. So same thing at Aracelli. Oftentimes when students come to Lemoore College and we sit down with them in that first semester and say, where do you plan on going? And they say UC Davis or UCLA or Fresno State, those general ed patterns until this upcoming year looked very different. And like all of us, I don't know how many majors all of you had. I had 3. And I started out undeclared, then communications, then English, and just in bachelor's. And even though we set up these pathways and career paths, life changes, our thoughts change, our passions change, our directions change. And that's very difficult if we're sitting down with a student trying to tell them day one, well, I was planning on going to a CSU, so I have this path, but now I want to go to a UC. Talk to us, what have been some of the challenges navigating? So you've gone from Merced College to UC Merced to Stanislaus State, right? Stan State. So all 3 systems. So what were some of the challenges in just the transitions from community college to your bachelor's program and your bachelor's program to your master's program?
I think the transition from Merced College to UC Merced was obviously difficult just because the amount of students and the difference in campuses. Because Merced College, obviously a community college, you're really connected to all the faculty and the students and all the staff that you come into contact with. It's much easier to meet with a counselor because there is a limited amount of students, whereas at the UC, it was just more difficult for me to, seek out help, especially because I had made connections at Merced College, and then when I transferred to UC Merced, it was just an entirely different world. So I think the hardest part for me was just finding the guidance that I needed through advisors, through different programs. I was trying to figure out all of my financial aid, my grants, and so that was the most difficult part just because at the community college, it's so much smaller and intimate, so I had a hard time making those connections when I transferred over.
Good. And then how about from UC Merced to Stan State?
From UC Merced to Stan State, it was a little bit different because now I was entering a graduate program. So I was more so just nervous about obviously the course load, how intense it was going to be, but in regard to the actual transition for the semesters and my financial aid, it all went really smoothly. All of the connections that I made were great right off the bat. I had so many questions about my financial aid going into a graduate program, and I got really great assistance when I transferred over. and I had, orientations for specifically graduate students, and the line of communication was really open, just because it's such a small cohort of students, so they're constantly emailing you. So that was a little bit different, but overall I would say that transition was very smooth, also because I was familiar with the college system by this point. I've been in it now for 5 years, so I felt a little bit more confident going in.
Good. So one year away, 800 hours, you told me, away from being ready to get your master's degree and go into, and your goal is community college counseling?
Correct.
All right, just saying, everybody in the room, if you're recruiting about a year from now, just saying right here. So very good. Aracelli, thank you for sharing your journey. Let's give her a round of applause. Amazing what she's doing. All right, Abby, spotlight round on you. So you are heading where in the fall semester? UCLA, let's go Bruins. Very good. And what are you majoring in? Neuroscience. Okay, I did not major in neuroscience. That is fantastic. So Dinuba High School. Talk to us a little bit. So you've taken, we're going to talk a little bit with our three here about the Math Bridge program, but talk to me in general about dual enrollment. So when did you first start taking college classes and dual enrollment classes while you were at Dinuba High School?
Hi, everybody. So I'm actually enrolled in our Med Academy at our Dinuba High School. So through this academy, we're able to take various dual enrollment. So my sophomore year, I took my first dual enrollment course. Going into high school, I had no idea what dual enrollment was. My parents immigrated to the U.S. and my mom is a first-generation student, so she received all the help there was. So going in, it was all still new to me as well. So taking this dual enrollment, they explained to me college credits, and I was like, this is amazing. If I can get ahead in college, that's what I'm gonna do. So sophomore year I started, and my junior year came around, and I was like, I'm gonna sign up for more. This is gonna help me in my future. And then my senior year came around, and now my course load is all APs and all college dual enrollment classes, but I wouldn't change it because I know it's setting me up for a successful future.
What's been the most challenging thing about taking college classes while you're at the high school level?
First off was just navigating what they were, understanding what Canvas was, understanding the different tools there is, just understanding the entire website and how to submit my assignments, how to email my teachers when I'm stuck on something. But after having some in-person instructors, like last semester I took English 1A and my English teacher was our instructor. So just having him explain what it was and how to go through it was really helpful. And this semester I'm taking COM, which is all online. So I'm able to have a better understanding from that guidance. But from someone that's just taking online classes, it could be a little difficult just understanding what the website is.
Yeah, good. And then which community colleges have you taken courses from?
Through Reedley and Fresno City.
All right, Reedley, Fresno City, yeah. We got Tigers and Rams getting excited out there. That's good, that's good. So, Bella, let's talk with you a little bit about, all three of you are in a Math Bridge course, right? So talk to me a little bit about that specific class and how it's worked for you and how it's prepared you.
Well, right now I'm in the math course where I'm taking statistics, and honestly, it is a very challenging class, I would say, compared to all the previous honored math classes that I've been in. The regular classes, they have work right there for you, worksheets, guidance. We do have guidance with our instructor for statistics, but everything is so fast-paced that we need to be on everything that we need to be on, everything that's due. Everything is due on the same day, all of our assignments, and when we're not in class, everything is on us, and then we do have to teach ourselves if we don't understand. But other than that, it's not hard, but it's very challenging.
Yeah, good. And then for you, same question I asked earlier, like what other dual enrollment courses have you taken?
Well, I'm also in the med pathway, so my sophomore year I did take health. My junior year I took I took psychology too. And then for this year, I'm in a CNA course. I took English 1A and I am taking comms as well.
Awesome. What's been the most challenging part of dual enrollment for you?
I think the most challenging is the switch of the instructors for COM right now. It is online, and she doesn't meet with us as much as I would like, so the guidance isn't really there and that helpful, but from English 1A, my teacher was able to help me and guide me through all the steps I was able to take. So it's honestly the different teachers, and if they do have other classes and it's on Zoom or if it's online, it's much harder than if it was in person.
What modality, so you've talked about like fully online, you've talked about Zoom, you've had teachers face to face. What modality for you has been the most challenging, and which one's been which ones you enjoy most?
The most challenging is definitely online, because I do say I would need that one-on-one with the teacher and more explaining. And the easiest it would be in person. I'm more of a visual learner. I need to be there. I need you to give me the steps. I would ask you questions for whatever I need help on.
Pretty good. I mean, let me ask you the same question. In terms of modality, which has been the one that you enjoy the most and which has been the most challenging?
Definitely adding on to what Bella said, in person has always been the best for me. I have all these questions for you, please help me figure it out. And so going on to that online aspect of college classes, it was a little challenging because I'm like, sometimes the instructions aren't as clear as I would like them to be, and I'm like, what does this mean? I'm over here bugging my teacher, and he's just a proctor, so he's like, I don't even know. But just getting the grasp of, you have to figure it out on your own, because if your teacher's not getting back to you through email, like, you still have to submit it by the due date.
Yeah, good. All right. Kenzie, let's talk to you. So when did you start taking dual enrollment classes at Dinuba?
Can you hear me? No. Can you hear me? No. If it's on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I started taking dual enrollment courses my sophomore year, and I've taken them ever since. Each year I have added on to dual enrollment courses, and it's honestly been the best experience throughout high school, and I'm very grateful for dual enrollment.
And how do you feel that it's preparing you for your next? You're going to UC Davis in the fall.
Yes.
Yes. So how do you feel it's preparing you for UC Davis?
It has prepared me immensely. I feel like if I didn't take them, I feel like I wouldn't be as confident, transitioning from a regular high school course to college. It's always hard. College is way more rigorous, so dual enrollment has set standards for me and created a foundation for me, to be more confident and to just go in with a better mindset of what to expect.
Good. Same question on modality: online, Zoom, face-to-face. What's been the most challenging for you, and which one do you gravitate towards?
Online has definitely been the hardest. Just like how they said, I have tons of questions sometimes. I get confused on things or just need more explaining to be done, and that's why I like the instructor just to be there. It makes it easier for me, and I know it might make it easier for them because they're not always getting emails on questions that I might have.
Yeah. So I think you've heard there's so many different ways we do dual enrollment, right? If we think about it, sometimes it's our community college instructors coming to the high school. Sometimes it's them teaching it online. Sometimes it's our high school instructors that are qualified that are now teaching the courses. Sometimes you mentioned you had like a facilitated model where you had a teacher that came alongside from the high school to work with. So what did that look like? And this could be to any of you. In terms of, so if you're taking an online class, right, how do you navigate that, and what kind of supports do you have at the high school to help you to be successful?
So our comm class this semester, it's taught from a Reedley College professor, and our English 1A teacher, which was our last semester teacher, he's our proctor for that class. And so in the same sense that he is getting, he's still receiving all the announcements our teacher is making, but not to like the full extent. Like he'll ask, what assignments will you guys be working on? So we explain it to him, and our professor will make announcements, but sometimes he won't receive them. So on his end, he's also lacking communication, so he's not best suited to help us when we have all these questions. But he does try his best, and I give all the kudos to him.
That's awesome. Let's give a round of applause for our 3 students from Dinuba. Dinuba, UCLA, UC Davis. Awesome. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Zeidi, we had a chance to talk for all of 3 minutes before we got up here, but you have a remarkable story. So you want to share a little bit? Can you share a little bit about just kind of your story and what you're up to now?
So I started also in the Wonderful Pathways. I'm not sure if you guys know the Wonderful Pathways. They also have dual enrollment in high school starting somewhere before freshman year. I'll be honest, the first time when I heard of dual enrollment, I didn't know what that was. My mom was also a first generation student, so it was also new to her to know what opportunities that were given for, high school students. And so I'll be honest, I was like, as soon as they said, oh, you'll be taking college courses in the summer, I'm like, oh no, that's my vacation time. What do you mean? And so yeah, it was just a full on conversation I had with my parents. But at the end of the day, I knew that they wanted the best for me, and so it's opportunities that back then that they didn't have, and so I did want to do it, and so it was challenging taking dual enrollment classes during the summertime as well, and having to sacrifice those times, especially as a high school student, you're sacrificing your vacation time. So taking those college courses such as like computer, Com one, stats, computer science, all those hard college courses that you're bringing into as a high school student. It is challenging, and also having to navigate with new things that are in the college world that's not in the high school. So I did really have challenging times throughout that time, but I did have my, our coordinator that was part of the pathways and pretty much guided us on the courses that we'll be taking throughout the time. And so, I was doing really well in the courses. Again, it was really hard having to challenge between college courses and high school, and having to see the same students for the next 4 years. We were all a family, but there's also those, where it's like we kind of acted like sisters and brothers because we were just the same people that were going through the same courses, but we're able to help each other out and just navigating and being able to actually get used to the college, just because I feel like that really prepared me when I graduated. And it's incredible that, taking all those dual enrollment classes, I was able to graduate with my associate's degree before I even graduated high school. And so I thought that was a really, yeah, thank you. I thought that was a really great opportunity, and I just saw that as like, wow, like I never saw this kind of pathways and dual enrollment programs that they have out here, and I'm so grateful that there's been even more coming out, and it's just incredible being able to see students thrive and success, and being able to have those open doors to higher education, and to know that there's not like a limit, that you can keep going. And it's just incredible being able to see that. And now I'm actually now on the other side, helping students with the same, college applications, FAFSA applications, and I'm actually back at the senior high school that I graduated from, and I'm able to help out seniors, being able to find their college that they're wanting to pursue and majors, and being able to be part of that. And for me, it's an honor being able to be part of a student's life, and being able to make that commitment to a college, because it's something that you're going to see yourself in the next 3 to 4 years. And I want to make sure that they're at the college that they pursue and want to be successful in, and just being able to open a lot of doors for them, and just being their support system, their resources, and just being able to be someone that you can guide and counsel. And yeah, it's just an amazing opportunity. And I thrive to want to go higher in education, probably go back to my master's and pursue student affairs and counseling, because being able to help students now is something I do want to do and pursue doing. So it's just an amazing opportunity that you guys all have given us, and I really appreciate the hard work, and just being able to be a role model now as for them as well. And so it's an amazing experience.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So your associate's degree in plant science, like around the same time you graduated from Sanger High School. So then you transitioned to Fresno State. And how long were you at Fresno State? And then the second part of that is, how did taking dual enrollment courses, how did it prepare you for your time at Fresno State?
Yeah, so when I graduated from Sanger High, it was in class of 2019. Once I transferred to Fresno State right after graduation, I pursued into plant science still, just because I did love the agriculture and plants, and just being able to do more hands-on and visual things that I'm able to do out. So it's just I then graduated literally within 2 years and a half, just because I already graduated with my associate's degree, so I had majority of my courses completed by the time I did go to Fresno State. During that time too, since I was in the pathways, I also had a scholarship with the Wonderful Pathways, so I was able to still get the resources and the support from that program as well. And so I still had a one-on-one coach that
always had one-on-one meetings with me, just being able to counsel me on what the next steps to do, what courses that I'll be taking from the next semester and over. And so taking those dual enrollment classes in high school really helped a lot, just because it gave me the perspective of college, and where it's like, you know what, like this is a really, these courses are not the same as a high school level. And so I feel like that did really prepare me in a way. And, once I did go to Fresno State, a lot of people there too, in different ages and different, it was a diversity school. So once I was there, I was walking in as a freshman, but I was already taking upper division courses. So once I was in those classes and we had to do icebreakers and just meeting the people there, and they're like, oh, like, what grade are you in? And I'm like, oh, I'm a freshman. And they're like, what are you doing here at this class? And I'm like, I don't know. And so it was just incredible kind of seeing that perspective too, where it's like sometimes you feel that imposter syndrome. I did get that a lot once I did go to Fresno State, just because I wasn't just going to really college during the summer anymore. It's like, this is a really big school. There's a lot of things going on. Everybody's here for a goal. Everybody's here to learn. Everybody's here to pursue what they want to do in their careers. And so that did help me a lot with the dual enrollment. And so just taking those courses were not as new to me, but it was something that it's like, that I really did appreciate taking those courses in high school, because it did prepare me a lot for college life. And it's the same thing with the students that are taking right now on pathways and taking those dual enrollments, where it's like, you're not having to feel that much of the imposter syndrome, and just being able to have that support from, the pathways and dual enrollment, and just being able to ask for help. That's definitely something I didn't do in the beginning, where it's like, no, you know what, I can do it. This is nothing new to me. Like, I've been here, and, towards the end too, it's like, when you do need that help, do reach for it, because that's what they're there for, and they're here to help you and guide you, and, just be there for you, academically and mentally. So I really do appreciate that too.
That's awesome. Thank you, Zeidi. Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, how exciting for our high school students that you, Aracelli, are choosing to go back into the field and be able to share your experiences and your stories, and to guide them through all of that. So should we call it something different than dual enrollment? Because, I mean, all three of you said, like everyone kind of said, I didn't know what dual enrollment was, right? And part of that's because it's relatively new, right? But is there something we should be calling it different to attract students, or let them know that you can take college classes while you're in high school?
I think it's just more of making it known that it's an option. Because going into high school, I didn't even know they were offered summer sessions. And now as a senior, I'm taking summer classes so I can prepare myself for my UC. But going in, I didn't know. So I think it's more of having counselors reach out and inform students of that they're an option and that they're really beneficial. I don't think the name really affects it, because dual enrollment, like, you're understanding that you're going to be two places, Right. You're taking multiple classes, but more in the sense of giving a description, informing students of what it is and how it's going to help you.
Very helpful, very helpful. We like to sometimes overcomplicate things, so sometimes, well, it's concurrent, no, it's dual, no, but the bottom line is you have the opportunity to take college classes while you're in high school. All right, ready for the speed round? Ready for the speed round, okay. So you have three options, multiple choice. We're going old school, multiple choice right here. So you can choose to answer one of the following three questions. Either 5 years from now, I will be. These are all one sentence answers. So write your script. 5 years from now, I will be. One thing that we can do better to support students who are preparing for college and going to college is, so how can we prepare better? Or one musical artist that everybody in this room should take time to listen to. Because you got to keep it, we need to keep it real. So, Aracelli, so 5 years from now, one thing we can do better, or one musical artist? Multiple choice. Which one are you taking?
I choose option A.
Option A.
5 years from now, I will hopefully be a counselor at a community college and finished with my doctorate program in educational leadership.
There it is. Speak it out loud. I love that. I love that. All right. Abby, 5 years from now, one musical artist or one thing we can do better to support students?
I'm going to go with B. One thing that I believe as educators and people in education to help our students is having more inclusivity. As a Latina, sometimes not having that representation there is a little daunting because it's like, can I really do it? But having those people there supporting me allows me to know that it's achievable and it's attainable.
Love that. Love that. Inclusive, representative. Bella, 5 years, one musical artist or one thing?
I'll do the 5 years. So in 5 years from now, I'm hopeful that I graduate from UC Davis and start medical school in my residency.
Kenzie, 5 years, one musical artist or one thing?
I'm gonna go with A as well. So 5 years from now, I'd hope to be a medical student and have had graduated from UC Davis.
Awesome. And Zeidi?
I'll also do A. So in 5 years from now, I do want to go back and go to Fresno State and go for my master's for student affairs and counseling. That way, I'm able to, work at maybe at a college level, maybe work back for Fresno State and just be able to help and counsel students and guide them into, any resources and, just helping them out with reaching their goals and, just also being there for them, not just academically, but it's really important to be there for them mentally and just making sure that they're also doing all right and to remind them that they're doing amazing and that they're striving and they're going to be able to succeed. And sometimes life throws risks and obstacles, and sometimes they need people to help them and guide them and open those doors for them.
Awesome, thank you. So we have about 7 or 8 minutes. We have time for 2 or 3 questions, I think. So we'd love for you to ask our panelists up here some questions that they can answer on behalf of all students everywhere. So any questions?
There's one right back there. Right here.
All right, microphone's coming.
Thank you all so very much. I'm Naomi Castro with the Letters Project. Amazing journeys, so inspirational. I'm wondering, I can imagine that there's maybe some high school students, young students who hear everything that you said today and think there's something special about you and that I can't do it. Like, you're smarter than me, you've got this support, so what would you say to a student who heard about your amazing journeys and then just thought that they wouldn't be able to do it themselves?
I could kind of speak on that. So I actually often tell people that I'm not any smarter or better than them. I really do not think that I am. I think it kind of ties in to equity and the fact that there's tailored support for every student, and some students need a little bit more than others, and that's perfectly okay. But I think I would just emphasize to them that these systems are here to support you. And that college is for everybody. It's not just for the smart people, and I think that starts with pursuing community college in specific. It's really emphasized that going straight to a 4-year university is the only way, and that's not. So I would just let them know that there's so many options for them. They don't have to go straight to a 4-year university. They don't have to be enrolled in dual enrollment. They can start wherever they want, and I would just motivate them to lean on the resources that they have available to them, because there's so many, and although it can be kind of daunting to pursue them and to seek support, if they want to be successful and if they really feel in their heart that this is something that they want to pursue, then they have every ability to do so. Everyone is special in their own way and has their own unique capabilities, so that's something that I would say to a student if they told me that.
Adding on to what Aracelli? Yeah. Adding on to what she said, I often hear that with my own brother. He's like, I'm not as smart as you. I'm just gonna do this and this. But just in my own family, I always push him to find his niche, so find what he's good at, because I could give this kid a toy car and he'll break it apart and put it all back together, making it even go faster. He is amazing with electronics. So just pushing kids and students to find what their own individual strength and talent is, and really pushing them forward to excel in that, because for me it's medicine, and that's just something I've always fallen in love with. And so just allowing them to, even if they do fail, and not like pushing them down with it, but helping them get back up and continue to support them, which I think is very helpful.
That's awesome.
One thing that I do ask my students is using their background, using what is it that motivates them the most. And the one thing they say is family, siblings. I'm like, exactly, if you're like the oldest, I'm the oldest of my family, and being able to be a role model. I feel like that's a really big thing, and I know it's also a big role to be part of, and sometimes you're like, I can't fail. Like if I fail, this is what they're looking at. They're gonna see every step that I do, and if I fail, it's gonna look bad on me, or it might discourage them, but sometimes it's meant to be. Sometimes you have to fail to succeed. Sometimes you gotta fall to get back up. And so just being able to let them know that there's endless opportunities, and now that there's a lot of pathways going on and opening, and just new ways for these new generation students, for them to be able to succeed, and that they have, like how Aracelli mentioned, there's community college, there's vocational, there's the 4-year universities, there's and then from there it just goes higher. So there's nothing else that can make you go down. And so for me, I just use that as a way of like, hey, like you're yourself, you're unique, you're your own person, and there might be something that you can provide or be able to infiltrate in this university. So when you do your UC personal insight questions, show why you should be part of this institution, what you would bring here, and what makes you different from everyone else, and how you can pretty much show yourself and your skills and your interests, and what you would pretty much bring into the table. So everybody has a spot in a university, and that's why the universities are so big with so many seats, because everybody's welcome.
That's awesome. Bella, Kenzie, you guys want to add to that, or yeah?
Well, I think based on the student's perspective in their own head, I was once like that, but I always had a goal for myself. I always wanted to do better in any situation that I was put in. So being able to go to other students and encouraging them to find these classes, find these dual enrollment classes, and no matter how hard it is, it's helpful. And even if you don't want to take a specific dual enrollment, my high school offers pathways, and it allows you, it's a step-by-step every single year. You can follow through with it if you want, you don't have to, but it's there to help you and it's there to guide you. And for my med pathway, with all these dual enrollment classes, I'm already a little ahead in college, so it's honestly very helpful.
That's awesome.
One thing I'd say is to be your own advocate. For me personally, I'm not one to really ask for help, so I think going out and finding resources that the school has provided has helped me so much. That's how I learned about the dual enrollment course, kind of asking, along with the Med Academy. Thank you.
That's good. All right, I think, does anybody else? Yes, we do have questions. Wonderful, yes.
My name is Sade Williams, and we go public schools, and we help support families and their parents, specifically to help our students. And so you touched on a few on being the first thing going into college. Can you guys speak to how your parents supported you in this journey? And if you can name one thing that they could be versed on to help support you during this journey. Thank you.
Maybe just one or two to answer it.
So I'm actually second generation. My mother was the first in her family to go to college, but my dad did not go to college. So starting the entire college process, it was very daunting because I was the first. My mom is a community college and Fresno State alum. So her path looked a little different than mine. So going into my college applications, it was very daunting because I didn't know how to express myself, what it needed from me. And so I relied heavily on my counselors and on my English teacher So having those other outside resources was very important to me, but something that my parents always emphasized growing up was higher education, so I knew I needed to get my applications done. I knew this was something I wanted to pursue. And coming in, my parents always, I think the strongest thing that they emphasized was that, and they always supported me. Like, they always made it known that they were gonna support me in any decision I made. So knowing that no matter where I went or what I did, that they were gonna be there to help me was very helpful, and it helped reduce stress.
Maybe one more person in terms of what can we, in terms of supporting families to help them support their young people to go to college, what can we do better? Or what was your experience?
Definitely what we would do in our pathways, what we do is we have workshop for parents, and usually the parents would come and we would discuss about the opportunities that our pathways are giving to our students. That way they are more known about the dual enrollment, what courses they'll be taking, college trips that we give to the students. That way they have more experience to be able to actually go to the campus trips and actually be able to see the colleges, what the big colleges, small colleges, and just kind of giving those informational sessions with them. We also do FAFSA application sessionals as well, whether that's in person or Zoom, and just being able to include parents, because I know parents really do want to be part of their college journey, and just being able to know that they're there for them. And also parents always reaching out to me, letting me know like, hey, is there anything else that my kid needs? Is there anything else that we can have them do? Things like that. And sometimes I let parents know like, hey, like we've been reaching out about some scholarship opportunities that they can apply for. And it's kind of funny sometimes because parents are like, have you not been checking your emails? And they're like, well, and it's just things like that too, where I'm like, it's really important to also check your emails, just because that's also something that you'll also be looking at college, and so things like that too, that we always inform students, parents and students, and that way parents are also involved in being part of it, and having just parents to be included. And I know back then too, my mom, she's a first generation too, but she didn't have this kind of pathways back then either, and so it was also very new to her when we were given the opportunity to enroll myself in the pathways. And so she saw something that it's an opportunity that I could take, and so now every time when I graduated from Fresno State, the first person that I thought of going up in that stage was my mom. If it wasn't for her encouragement, if it wasn't for your parents' guidance, if it wasn't for their way of just wanting the best for you, I don't think I would have made it that far.
That's awesome. Thank you. Let's give you a round of applause. Good. So we're right up against time, but I just want to conclude. Aracelli, Bella, Kenzie, Abby, Zeidi, thank you so much for sharing your journeys. The 559 Central Valley is going to be very well represented with this next generation. I just got to say the future looks so bright, and I just wish you the best. I know all of you have written your 5-year script, and I have no doubt in my mind that 5 years from now, that's exactly where you'll be. That's, if you keep going on this path. So thank you for sharing. We appreciate you. Let's give them a huge round of applause.